Welcome to the NXT Podcast, your home for weekly NXT reviews and insight.
The beautiful part of NXT is that when one dream ends, another dream begins.
Find all of your NXT news, recaps, and analysis right here. So with that being said, we only have one question for you.
Are you ready?
We thought so. Let's get the show started right now.
All right, everyone. This is Memphis Mark coming to you from Mullet Manor. And, man, we're going to do the NXT review for 3-5. And we've got Roadblock tonight and all heading up to Stand and Deliver before WrestleMania. So that just shows how close we are to WrestleMania week. I guess you could say it now. It's taken on a life of its own. I really want to, before I go, I want to experience one. So, and have the whole week to do it. I've got to enjoy some events over the years that way, and that is the only way to do it. But anyway, folks, they start off with not just your average recap of the prior week. No, they've got Alexis King, soon to be the new face of the place. They got him rolling in a custom cool white supercar. I believe it's a Lamborghini. I have to look at it again, but when you have a warning button over your ignition button, it's a fast car. Just to warn you there. They go in to a cool little recap of the prior week with Alexis doing his little thing up in there, and I thought he did a fantastic job, and it was kind of funny, you got Booker T and Vic, they're starting out the show standing next to the cage, and it feels a little UFC-ish. They're standing next to the cage doing their intros going into the match. Just looks a little familiar on nights that I don't watch wrestling. But they open up with a big cage match. It's an asylum match with weapons everywhere. And it's Dijak going against Joe Gacy. You know what? It starts off like you would think it would. Dijak will get the upper hand, and Gacy sells. But there's a little something, a little extra in this match. A little something. There happens to be a box in the corner that says "Do not open." Now, if you were from anywhere below, I'd say, if you were anywhere in the South, that was a pretty famous little gig. They had this little box that you would say "not open," and there was several little things around that, little scams back in the day, and there was funny things and jokes that you could play, but the box says "do not open." And this is not your average box. It's not like a cardboard box. This is a custom box with some air holes in the top. And it says "do not open." So that plays a part in the match because Dijak seems to be consumed by the box. But the match is pretty good, man. They're going back and forth and everything, but he keeps going back to the box. And then eventually he does get to the box, and he opens up the box. And it hits him right in the face. It's Jack in the Box redneck style. But anyway, so that takes on there. Gacy doesn't get a pin off that, but it does bring on Dijak to bring out the straitjacket. And so that gets in there. And then Dijak brings in a front door. If they'd had the kitchen sink, they'd have had just about everything else. But and then Dijak and duct tapes Casey's face. And not just a regular duct tape. This is some wide duct tape. And even though Gacy does hold his own, totally, somewhat blinded, I'm sure, but you know somebody's there and you've done a move or certain moves for years, you don't have to see, but it was pretty funny. The match wasn't bad, and all leading up to there was cool, and then kind of a sucky ending. It's like a GTS or whatever they want to call it. Dijak puts it on Gacy, and then and he covers him, and then they pan back over, and Gacy's still smiling. Okay, but the match was not bad. It's just the ending kind of sucked. But other than that, you got a little Tony D, and Stacks and Rizzo, and they bring in Crucifano. I believe I'm saying this name wrong. But anyway, they want him to be the Consigliere, but they give him the lowdown, the job specifics, and he agrees to join. So later on, they went into HR and they got everything. No, there you go. But yeah, all right. And then they go to Valen, and she's talking to Riley. Riley, that other dude chased you. Yeah, that one. So yeah, kind of a strange promo. Davenport comes out, runs her mouth, so they're gonna have a match later. But soap opera continues, and then you got Tatum and Lyra doing their little strange kind of promo because Tatum roll that way, so they gotta be setting up, the Tatum angle. So I don't know. We will see on down the road. But for the second match of the night, since this is Roadblock, you got Braun and Baron putting up the tag title matches, buddies, with Chase U and Duke and Andre. Of course, they got Riley and the outside and everything. But the B&B, the Wolf Dogs, when they come out, they've kind of got this, I don't know, how would you put that, face mask, intimidation, kind of look to them, kind of cohesive. Kind of cohesive there, But the Wolf Dogs come out, and, you gotta say, Andre gets his butt kicked for a while there in this match. And, man, you can, there was even a time, though, in this match that, Baron had done a move and was on top and ready to go for the pin, but Braun jumps on, and Baron's got to say, "Hey, man, it's my pin." So, a little confusion there, which is always kind of fun. But Duke got in there, and I'll tell you what, man, the more and more I see Duke, he's just not quite ready. So, but he's big. And he's comical, and he can do some funny things. So he's main roster bound. They'll let his talent and his ring ability catch up with him because he can joke around and then make things look kind of cool and funny. So, yeah, that's main roster if you don't quite have the talent. But he does have the talent. It's just needs to come out a little bit more. But, yeah, there was one move, though, in this match that I got to say, go back and watch. You know, I'll tell you when there's something to go back and watch. I'll tell you, Braun does a Frankensteiner off the top, and he salutes before he does, and does a freaking perfect Frankensteiner. And I guarantee you, ain't mentioning no names, but I'm going to say a dad or an uncle couldn't do that one, especially an uncle. But anyway, good match in this. Duke and Andre, they just don't have the tag team cohesiveness that even Braun and Baron do, because Baron's a seasoned wrestler, and Braun, in his own way, kind of is. He's just working off the ring rust, So, it ends up being, towards the end there, it ends up being and before the end, they have to have some soap opera stuff. So, Thea looks over at JC. Jane is putting the L up on her forehead, which causes her to go berserk, which will lead to something a little later. Ends up Braun and Baron. There's a deep six, then a spear, and then a win. So the tag titles go nowhere. And go nowhere. We got a little mellow promo after that, and he's kind of explaining to Tony D, that people that jump the line, not only do they get a T-shirt, they get hurt. So he's kind of laying that on out there. And then we have our first Shawn Spears a sighting before they go to a commercial break. So maybe a little build there, and good for him, man. Good for him. And they really don't do a promo. They come from commercial break, they go straight in to Shawn Spears against the big the European, or maybe the Canadian Uriah Connors, a jabroni. All right, and guys, if you don't know what a jabroni is, when they give an established wrestler a match and they want him to look good for when you come and pay for the match, they give him a rookie, a wet behind the ears, has Simulac on his breath. A jabroni. And they gave him a jabroni, and he does some weird, Shawn does some weird kind of stuff. He's whispering in his ear. He's telling him, hey, hit me. Come on. Do this, do that. And then he just wipes him out. So, but at the end of the match, and it was a simple move for Shawn Spears, like a fireman's carry freaking slam. I don't know. These fancy kids have big names for that, but generally a fireman's carry slam. And then he kind of slithers a little, aka a little Randy Orton, slithers into a pin and pins him. And not so bad, but they give him the stick after the match, and I'm sorry, I was asked via fax and email, through Twitter, the stick means the mic, okay? The microphone, okay? But they give him the stick, and he does pretty good. They've got the lighting just right, where the lighting's going down his face like a half and half cookie. So he's evil and not evil, and like good and not good. And anyway, decent little, because he's good with the stick and got a good interview, but he calls out Ridge. And you call out one of them doggone old Irishmen there, they coming on out. And they do. And it was kind of weird the way he does it. He handed him a chair at one point in time. I mean, telling him to hit me. So we'll see where this angle is going. It's kind of like Sean Spears' new angle is, hey, I won't sell. You hit me, I'll tell you to hit me harder. You slap me, I say slap me harder. You kick me, I say kick me harder. So maybe that's his new deal there. I don't know. But from there, they do go to Brooks and Jensen, a little promo. And, Jensen comes out and he kind of tells Brooks, hey, man, I told you to grow a set of gonads, but did you really want to call out Oba Finney? I mean, there's a lot of, you could go to a roller coaster ride, you could just drive your car into a wall, there's a lot of things you can do, but you tugged on Superman's cape, and before you spit in the wind, but no, old Brooks says, he's ready, he's fired up, man. And so all Jensen can do is go, good luck, brother. And as he walks away, who steps into the scene but Dijak? Old Dijak's good for a line, and Dijak says, yeah, your buddy's a dead man, right? Yeah, and that was my best dead man voice, like Mark Callis, yeah. Rest in peace. No, that's terrible. I'm sorry. All right, so then they got a little promo with Dragunov, and he's doing his promo, cutting his promo, and then Stax comes out, and Stax comes out, and he's got Cruz with him, and he's kind of saying, hey, yo, I just want to introduce myself. I'll be seeing you at a later date and time. Later. Kind of cool. And then you got Lyra, and you got the ladies champ and Tatum Paxley going against the Kabuki Warriors. And I did not know, or I had forgotten, Asuka is undefeated on NXT. So, and you could tell in this match, in the teamwork, man. Asuka and, the Warriors were just, they were on time. Their moves were crisp. Every setup, every double team, everything was crisp. Lyra and Tatum. Now, when Lyra was by herself and she was going one-on-one, she was 70% up to par. But the Kabuki Warriors, they had to slow down. It was obvious in this match. And I like Lyra and I like Tatum, but it was obvious they were outclassed in this match. It was just rusty teamwork. It just was what it was. The Kabuki Warriors do win the match and retain the ladies tag team championships. So they're getting on out of town. They're heading to the pay window. You know what I mean? And then out of nowhere, AJ, CM Punk's wife, jumps in the ring and starts... Wait a minute. No, I'm sorry. Roxanne jumps into the ring and jumps on Lyra. And then, puts her arm out the window and waves it like it just don't care and does a little stomp on it. And, send her to the hospital. They got to load her up in an ambulance. And it's big because, we got Ava around because she's a GM. She's the, one with all the experience. But in this particular picture, in this particular pose, in this particular angle, in this particular storyline, there's HBK. So we have an HBK sighting. All right. So yeah. All right. That confused me. HBK threw me off. Hold on a second. All right. Like I said, HBK threw me off a little bit here, but then we're going to go to Val and Henry going against Miss Davenport. And you know what? I got to say, Valen had the little feud with Kiana James, and I have to say that ever since that feud, I think Valen has upped her game, or she has gotten the experience to where she's coming to her own. A beautiful young lady, a lot of talent, just wasn't real high on her with Brooks and Jensen. Ever since then, it's starting to become gold. So I don't know, because you got Davenport, which is just good. She just needs her right angle or something to come up, and then she's ready to go. So, and I gotta say, Fallon at one point in time in this match did just a little hand slip, nothing big. But her hand slipped off when she goes to make a move. And then when she does, she looks at her hand and she makes a reaction like, oh, little, she sold it. And she did a good job at that. The match is okay. The match is okay. And then they throw Miss Davenport to the outside. And out of the crowd comes a figment from her past, a memory she thought she had forgotten. That freaky California beach girl, Soul Ruka, comes from the crowd, does a very weak slam move on her, or just a acrobatic move that did not go, but she sold it. And then Valen gets a big kick and takes the young lady out. So, Valen gets the win, and we know what that is going to happen. What's going to come from that is Valen and Ruka next week. And then you got Chase U doing a little interview, and JC's in there calling them kind of losers, and Thea comes in and explains that, hey, she threw down with Izzy and Kiana, and so she needs a tag team partner. But then JC says, hey, busy next week, got a rave. No, she's busy next week, so no JC. So they're going to bring Valen into this. They're going to bring another person into this spot. Same bad channel, same bad time, folks. Will have to tune in next week. Okay, got a little promo from for the Heritage Cup with the No Quarter Catch Club. Do their little cool little walkout. They're giving them a little time, a little TV time before their interview. So not so bad. But then you got Ava and Gigi. And Gigi wants some of Yana Grace because of it costing her a match, and Yana, Miss Grace, does not want, because she's a beauty queen. But because Gigi is such a potty mouth, they've agreed to kind of, I'm going to call it the makeover match. So if to get the match, if Gigi loses, then Miss Grace gets to kind of do a makeover of Gigi, which could go a lot of different ways, folks. It could go a lot of different ways. But then we've got, which I think was the best promo of the night, possibly because of the surprise, the angle, the suspense. What might I be speaking of? Well, it's them old shenanigan guys there. The catch quarter, or the no quarter catch crew. Okay. If they're around long enough for me to remember that, then it was like some of my old employees back in the restaurant days. You got to be there 60 days before I learn your name. But no, they've got the guys out there, with Charlie Dempsey being the winner. But, they've been setting us up with the quarter catch call rules, or the clause is what and not Santa, but the clause in the contract. And what it is, it's the Freebird rules. Yeah, the old Freebird. The Freebirds, you never knew who you were going to face back in the day, in the territorial days. So it was... it could have been Buddy, it could have been PS, it could have been Terry Gordy, it could have been, just different guys from a Garvin to this. But it was always Michael Hayes and Terry Gordy, mostly. And so it's a Freebird rule, so you never know who you're going to defend. Who are you going to be going against for the title because of them... them old wankers, them catch crew guys, them wacky guys there. But so they're about through with their interview, and then some music came on that ended up being about half as big as whoop that trick. It wasn't a trick. And you don't whoop him, it's William Regal. Hey. William Regal makes an appearance on there and lets them know that he really likes that title. And, he'll be watching. He'll be watching. So we'll see how that goes. And then a little quick thing with Noam and Metaphor where he's all distressed, and then Lash Legend brings him back to life. Imagine that. And then they've got a quick little spot with Von Wagner and Mr. Stone, and Mr. Stone wants to challenge Lexus King alone, and Uncle Von says okay. So. There we go. Excuse me. I cracked myself up. But then we got the main event, folks. We've got the main event. It's Mello and that's him, with his personal hand-picked security staff this time. No Tony D tricks. With Tony D and Stax and Rizzo, they're all going to show up and hang out and have a match. Yeah, it's groovy. But about the match is like you would expect. It's a good match, going back and forth. And they got to fill the time. And I could sit here and tell you move for move, but Tony D's going to have the power moves. Mello's going to catch his little spots, take a knee or an arm, do some jumping off the top ropes because he is so much smaller than Tony D to make it look good. And he does pretty much. At one time, Tony D throws him out of the ring, and his specially hand-picked security staff catches him. But Mello was selling kind of funny. He didn't seem right. It was kind of funny, his body reactions. But it looks like he's about to take this match. And he's up there for the him don't miss. And then he hears that music. Whoop that trick. That's the worst rendition you've ever heard in your life. But it causes him to be distracted. And in NXT, when you get distracted, somebody's going to whoop that trick. And that's what happens. Tony D does the big slam, and then bam, bada boom, bada bing. Tony wins. But they give Tony the stick afterwards, and he says, hey, yeah, you lowly, whoa. I'm a giving Dawn. And he gave him Trick. Trick comes in there, jumps on him, and of course that means Trick whoops that Trick. So that's how we end it with Mello, him, a little surprised and befuddled. I like that word, befuddled. I've been trying to work it in for 3 weeks. But yeah, we got, that's the way it goes off a camera, folks. So yeah, man, that's going to be the review heading up to our big pre-WrestleMania show. So we got a few more shows before that. So guys, I gotta go. Let's see how we want it ended. I was going to try to work in, man, that new game they got out, the new, I'm not into video games at all, but man, the graphics on this new one look really cool. Anybody that's got that and you've dealt with the other ones would love a little review. And then I guess I need to start. I've been asked, so I'm going to start letting some people know. You can reach me or find some of my comedy or whatever it may be at Memphis Mark, and that's spelt out Memphis Mark OG. At Gmail, at YouTube. You can find me on Twitter. Thursday nights we're doing the B-rated comedy show at 9 o'clock Central Time. So just check my X or Twitter, my X spot, whichever it may be, and it's always got times. But anyway, let's go ahead and end this up. But if you can, get out there and help a rescue group, anything you can, because I'm asking for help now for the first time in my rescue group. We're doing a little GoFundMe to build a couple rescue shelters, so I know what it's like now. So please, when you can, if you can, get out there and do what you can. And of course, spay and neuter. And guys, this is Memphis Mark, and what? I'm out.
Thanks for listening to the WWE Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe on your favorite podcast app so you don't miss a show, or head to WWEpodcast.com. And for all of these shows ad-free, head over to patreon.com/WWE Podcast. Until then, we'll see you next time.